Hi, my name is Satya, and I've been in class with y'all for about 10 weeks. And this is the introduction to my presentation. My presentation is on accommodations for college students with mental health disabilities. This particular topic is near and dear to my heart, and as many of you know, I have bipolar disorder, something that I've shared in class. As I talk about my story, I hope that you will notice that I am locating myself in this work and what it means to me, and the reasons why this particular topic is a part of what sustainable ministry means for me. I went to college at the age of 17. I had several depressive episodes at that point, and I had been to many therapists in my life up to that point. However, I'd never been to a psychiatrist, partially because my mother was uncomfortable with the idea of me having a mental health diagnosis label. There is absolutely still a stigma, and as my mother was a disability advocate and a special education teacher, she knew this. So I did not go to see a psychiatrist while I was in high school or before. When I entered college, I was told basically that I needed to figure out how to manage my mental illness myself in the context of my studies. This worked fairly well for the first couple semesters, but during my sophomore year, I entered a major depressive episode, and by the fall of my junior year of college, I was really struggling. I ended up in the hospital after a suicide attempt, and I was diagnosed there with bipolar disorder. This was shocking for me, but at the same time, I'd been struggling so much with my mental health, and I didn't really know how to be a college student and also take care of myself. Since the time of my diagnosis, I've worked pretty hard. But at the same time, it's very difficult to be a full-time college student and also struggle with mental illness. What I never knew until I started doing the work of this particular project was what kind of accommodations I could have asked for from my universities and from my professors in both in my undergraduate and in my graduate education. This frustrates me. It frustrates me because I have struggled so much and for so long, and yet there were concrete ways that I could have gone into a classroom with tools that could have helped me. Tools that didn't entirely rely on myself, but also relied upon the educational systems that supported me. I think one of the main learning experiences for me around this presentation has been that I am not alone in having a mental illness disability, and that when I enter into an educational situation, or hopefully into a ministerial situation, it is both the responsibility of myself and my community to help support me in the best way possible. I hope that as you look at the links that I've provided both to YouTube videos and to articles, that you will reflect on what your role as a community member is in helping people with disabilities, both mental health disabilities and physical disabilities, to get the accommodations that they need. We talk a big game at Star King about counter-oppressive education, and I think in many ways we succeed. But one of the ways that we fail is in providing adequate disability support and advocacy to our students. Some of the things that I struggle with as a student who has bipolar disorder are difficulty concentrating when my mental health is not good. So, for example, that could mean that on a day that I have an assignment due, I have a bad mental health day and I can't complete the assignment. Another thing that it might mean is that when I am struggling with anxiety, I struggle to attend class. And so, for example, in this class, one of the things that I've struggled with is that I sometimes, when I read the Moodle posts, I freeze. My brain just freezes, and I struggle to put into words what I'm thinking and feeling because I am either having a reaction to what someone has written or I'm having more likely a reaction within myself where I am anxious about what I want to say or I don't know what to say and have to force something. And that causes a lot of anxiety within me, a lot of cognitive dissonance, which can be really hard for someone with a mental health disability. Another way that I struggle is in terms of completing things by deadlines. As I said before, there's times when a mental health day catches me on a bad time, but there's also times when the combination of anxiety and mania or anxiety and depression leads me to being unable to do work in a timely fashion. So, for some reason, when the deadline has passed, I don't feel the anxiety in the same way. And so I'm better able to complete the work. But when the deadline is looming, that is when I struggle the most. There are other ways, obviously, that this affects me, but these are the ones that are most easy to accommodate in a classroom with some of the accommodations that are listed in the articles and videos. So I hope that through this project and through the work of the mental health task force organized by the student body, and hopefully through the help of the administration, that the culture at Starr King around mental health disabilities will change. I hope that you enjoy the material that I have provided, and please continue to reflect on what your place in a community that includes those with mental health disabilities is. Thank you.